Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be working on just stuff. I've got the new brake rotor right here for the mini bike. Now, like I say, this one is brand new, nice and flat. So this one right here, again, it's real hard to see it on camera, but it is warped really bad. Now, like I said, I don't know if that was from, what it was from, whether it was, I'm pretty sure it was from the other day when I had it out and basically overheated the brakes and, warped everything, all that kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure it's from that. So, is what it is. All right, another thing for work, so we're just gonna be working on everything. Also the four-wheeler, so like I'm an idiot, this right here, basically I ordered the wrong clutch yet again. This is only like the second time that I did that, but this was a while ago. So we need to switch this out for that one, because the wrong insides. So we got to switch that out, and I hate doing this because it's a pain in the butt. But basically, doesn't fit. So we need this clutch housing right here on this setup right here. This has the smaller inside. Tearing these things apart, not the easiest things to do either. I need to get good C-clip pliers. I don't have any. I have these pieces of crap right here. Ow, stabbed myself. And like I say, getting this all apart ain't the easiest thing in the world. I really should just take a break from there, not worry about this, because don't have any good C-clip pliers. But I gotta do this. Again, this ain't the easiest thing. I guess let me just go ahead and do it. Okay, so we got the clutch put together, so let me go ahead and show you that. So clutch is put together. That's on there with the big 420 chain versus the little, because that's like the gear on the back of this was 420. So that's why this thing is converted to basically 420. Now, there's one problem with this, which I guess we'll get to that here. Before we get into this, like I said, we're just gonna be working on back and forth, is the chain. So we've got, this is not permanent. This is a spacer, temporary spacer that I lined up stuff to get it as lined up, and we're gonna have to build spacers for this thing. Now, where the motor sits, the chain, it's a little saggy, so it's actually hitting the frame because it's sagging, but it's straight. That chain is like pretty straight. Now, where we get into the bottom is basically, I don't know if we can do this, but trying to, basically, the chain is like, okay, if we got to bring it over here, you can kind of see it. It's hitting the frame. So basically, this chain comes under and hits the frame right here. That really sucks. So my thought, what I'm planning on doing is, I can weld. I got a welder, all that kind of stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut right here and right here. We're going to cut underneath the pivot point for the rear swing arm. We're going to cut straight across here, straight across here. We're going to try to bend the frame out and try to get it clearance, so then I can weld this back together, which we're going to get to that in a second here. Because I don't feel like cutting into nothing at this moment, but we're going to. But let's go ahead tear this thing apart. Get this brake changed out. Now my goal is, I don't think I'm going to be able to get it all together today. I think something needs spacing. I don't think the brake rotor lines up perfectly. So we're gonna have to space something. Not 100% sure on what we're gonna have to space out. Now I'm looking at this. This thing is like, I think something else might be bent. Okay, that is riding on there smooth. That's strange, because I'm sitting it on the ground and that thing is not. All right, yeah, well, yeah, it is. Just didn't look like it was bent, but it definitely is. Now let's get this on and I'll show you that we probably gonna have to do some work. Go Power Sports, you know, like, I like their equipment and all that kind of stuff, you know, but it's like they were very vague, they, you know, on this like brake caliper setup. Now see, when I just tighten that down, that thing slid to the side. Well, that one just fell out. Try to get that in there. All right, I want to see something here before I... Okay, something is definitely bent on this bike. I mean, you can see that rotor is bent. Something on this bike is bent. I don't know what's bent on here. That's not a good thing. All right, gear is perfectly straight. I wonder if that spacer, because there's a spacer there, but that's like, I need that spacer because, man, this is let's get some. This ain't working out the way I want it. tighten this thing down. Take a chance of bending a rotor. Alright, that's still nice and flat. Let's see. See if something on here is bent. I think the hub on the wheel is bent. I think the hub on this wheel right here is bent. Yeah, my hub is bent. Okay. Well, that really sucks because this is factory. This, like, I don't think that this got bent from the heat from the brakes. That rotor, yeah, that rotor did get bent from the heat of the brakes. But this hub right here, no, that didn't get. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is I'm going to, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, see here, does this thing, let's see if this is flat. Yeah, that seems flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it to and get it machined. I'm going to see, I mean, it's the same side. Don't you think it's the same side? I'm going to see if we can get it machined flat. So basically put this thing on a lathe. And I mean, that's going to be an easy thing. We'll take this gear off this side. We'll be able to chuck this in a lathe. And then center point in the lathe here. And then we'll be able to just slightly go across this right here and true this up and see if it is flat. Because I'm pretty sure that that's flat, not flat. So we'll be able to get this on a lathe. We'll check both sides. This side looked flat, but that side didn't. So we're gonna have to put this on a lathe and machine this. This is not good. Now, let's go ahead. So like I said, something was definitely bent on this thing. Just sitting here putting it on backwards. Now see, this has got to be, this goes just like this, but now this is the issue. This is going the wrong way. So we're gonna have to spin this around because this is gonna be on the inside. So we're gonna have to take that and loosen it and spin that brake around just a little bit. I hate loosening the brakes because this is already a sealed system. So it kind of sucks. Now we gotta like take it apart, but it's got a brake bleeder, all that kind of stuff. So if we had to bleed the brakes again, we could. I'm not gonna stress on that aspect. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's on there tight. Well, let's go ahead and bolt this down temporarily. There it went. Don't want to implement too much air into this light brake on here. I don't even know which way would be the best way to like line this up. All right, so we're gonna put it on just like that. Got the brakes running on the outside, you know, like that. So let's go ahead and tighten it down. As the bike, I need to get a bike lift or a bike thing to hold these things better. Might help you put this on the wrench brake. And then rotor, once it's on, we'll go right in through there. Pretty sure we're gonna have to space these out, space this over. There's gonna be a lot of spacing on this thing. No, it should, I mean, well, yeah, it's gonna need you a little bit. All right. Because it looked like the rotor, well, you can see the bolts are a little long right here, and you know, the pocket for the rotor is there. So we're interfering with the bolts. So we're gonna have to probably space this thing over, probably almost about as much as what's here to get that over some. We should be good there. And then we'll have good brakes on this thing. But first we gotta get that fixed. That's an issue right there. All right, let's go ahead. Break into this thing. like I said, get the angle grinder out, we'll cut here, and we'll cut right there. And hopefully bend this thing. Okay, so I got it cut. I mean, you can see, cut it here, cut it here. I knocked it over, but it's not enough. The bottom chain is still hitting, so we're gonna have to move it some more. But the issue is the motor just has to go, and I have to weld this motor still. So I'm going to tack it where it's at. I'm thinking if I just throw like a tack or two in right here, maybe a tack right here, it should hold the motor still. It looks pretty straight. There is some fine tuning that you can do up here with the bolts for the motor mounts, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm hoping that this will work, then we'll work down there. This is when I need a cameraman. I'm just going to do those two tacks right there. That should be enough. I mean, it looks like it's pretty sturdy on there. All right. Now I can kind of pull on the chain, because like every time I would pull on the chain, the motor would move. Alright, now, the motor's still. That chain is straight. That is really good. The bottom one, we're still hitting right here. But it's real close. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna cut another little wedge out of there and bend it out some more. That's all I can keep doing, is basically just cut and bend, and then be able to weld this area back together when done. to turn this thing on its side, and we're gonna have to really like kind of beat on it right there. Trying to hit it with a rubber hammer, this and that. That's just not working. It's close though. Don't think that's gonna work. I don't want to take the motor out. It's still just not there. Oh, where'd my light go? Here it is. The chain is still touching on the frame up there. I think we're gonna have to okay, so what my thought process is, I think we're coming to a stopping point on this video. Because I got too many things that I just can't fix. That's got to go, basically, the rear end has to go on a lathe and see what's bent and what's true. And then this right here, basically, what I'm going to have to do is section the tube. So like we have round tube like this, and what we're going to do is we're going to have to like basically cut into it, square it out, and box it in. So basically I'm going to have to take this thing apart. We'll flip it upside down, and I'm going to have to like basically box that in. Let's see if I can flip this thing upside down. You know what, let's put a weld right there first. Keep that motor still. It's roughly. The motor is loose on the plate. Now let's flip this over and set this. Now you can really see how bent this thing is. There, now you can see top chain, like even if we pull it and put it in like this, top chain, nice and straight. Bottom chain, yeah. Here's the issue, right here. And I can't, so like I said, I was like, if I could have cut up farther, would have been all right, but this is all brace, so we're gonna have to like really do some chopping, modifying. Luckily, I'm good with a welder and I got lots of steel laying around. Dang. Not going the way I wanted to, but hey. It's all good. Things never always work the way you want. If everything worked the way I want, I would never be having issues with my videos, doing things. But it's all good. We're slowly getting there. This thing, once I get the brakes on, we are going to do a speed run on this thing. Because I want to know what it'll do, but I also need to stop when I'm done. Stopping's kind of key. Alright, well, I guess we're going to end this video here because there's all that's just going to be done off of camera because that's a lot of cutting and welding and just that's going to be a lot of work. So I guess just end it here and then get to cutting and welding. Hopefully by the next video, I will be able to have this a lot better. And hopefully we can have the chain on here, be able to spin it. Because once the chain's on it and be able to spin it, this thing's downhill after that. So, all right, well, I guess stay tuned. We'll see what we can get into.